courts before COVID-19, you had to go to court to just physically to just say, Your Honor, I have come to mention this on behalf.
Pleadings,
yes,
manually.
Yes, just to mention. My it has been mentioned, and then go back.
Can actually.
But COVID had to make even the baby boomers, who are mostly the judges, the old wazels, it had to make them appreciate, if it is not a matter that is very substantive, for instance, submissions and judgments, people can just go and listen to those things online. We don't respect an authority. We don't respect authorities that are not transparent, that are not fair, and are not accountable. That's why the real reason why Maandamano for 2024 in 5 happened is because we were demanding for transparency. Where is this money the taxpayer paying going? If we can't see that and all our roads have potholes, please make it make sense. If it doesn't make sense, we will demand that accountability.
This is Workplace Conversations with Rosalind and Dika.
Gen Zs value flexibility, clearly. So, don't you think this flexibility thing clashes with the traditional workplace cultures, beliefs?
Of course, it does clash with the traditional way of things, yeah. And we didn't come for peace. We don't love peace. We love a bit of chaos and violence, but not in a bad way. It does clash with the traditional setup or how things have been done. But hey, this is the reality we are in. The systems that were there before and the systems that are now. I was even cracking a joke with a friend. I'm telling, we were saying, how would you survive university without ChatGPT? I really wonder what those people who are in university without ChatGPT used to do.
We read in the library.
Like, there are times, no, it's just that I'm a law student, but there are people I know who had never stepped in a library since they joined school. Valid. Because everything is online. Everything is there. You can generate any information you want from the comfort of your phone.
Yeah.
But you think reading is having to go to the library. Just because that is what you're exposed to. And sometimes you are limited based on our exposure.
Yeah.
Your exposure informs who you are. And so sometimes you think based on what you have seen.
Yes.
So now, as that we have been exposed to more other things, you think ours is bad and yours is good. We are not saying yours was... Yes, your libraries and your books were nice. We don't dispute. But you're saying things have changed. Let's be flexible. Why should I come from work from Monday to Friday? Yeah, it's something that you could just tell me, hey, send this email to this client, and I can do that from home. We have Wi-Fi's in our home everywhere, anywhere. And that's why I think it also changes. The mindset has to change. And I keep applauding my boss because we don't have work hours in our law firm. That's unlike any other law firm. We have everything in the online platforms. We can be able to collaborate to do work. As long as you're supposed to do this, I can just come to the office if I'm coming to meet a client, or I'm needed there for some specific, or even when I can't do much from home, yourself. But there are people who would say, hey, there's this important work, and if I come here, my concentration span will not be as effective as it should be.
Yes.
You see, this is a leader who saw there's no point of doing this and I don't get the most out of it. And you realize that flexibility actually brings market to even where we are working at.
Yeah.
So it takes few dynamic and transformative leaders to think like that.
I'm actually one of the biggest champion of flexible working hours, because I don't understand why I should stay in the traffic. Wake up so early, first of all, like a witch. Stay in the traffic for 2 hours, get into the office, and then start doing work that I could actually do in the comfort of my living room or in the comfort of my bedroom. Because I have to follow the system. The system says 8 to 5. And what I came to realize mostly in these offices, actually nothing goes on. Out of the 8 hours that I'm supposed to work in a day, I'll be maybe just do constructive work probably for 2 hours, and the rest is idle time. Browsing, looking for more work, using the boss's Wi-Fi and such stuff. So I'm actually the biggest champion of flexible working hours.
On that point, even before you move forward, one thing COVID-19 should have taught all of us is that it can be done
Yes.
on and off site.
Actually, we never, personally where I used to work, we never stepped in the office the entire COVID period. And work never stopped. We did work.
Because there's no point. I remember there's this workplace I used to go yesterday 9 to 5. Nilikuwa nagojea hata unafika 4 unaanza count down yako tu.
Because you can't leave.
Yeah. Kishafika tu 5. Ni kama ulikuwa unagojea kama students ukiwa primary school wende tu nyumbani. So like I didn't get that, which is different from where I am. I can get at my job place at 11 and I can extend to like 8 and not feel anything. Because I feel like my peak hours are like my brain and body has properly woken up at around that time. There's a time I even tried to go there at 8. My friend, I went round, I took water, I came back, I sat, I realized I don't have tea, I went and fetched tea till around 11ish is when now my system was like, oh, so there's this
productive.
Yeah, so I was so unproductive those morning hours, which I would at least be sleeping, so that when I wake up, I still do the same work someone who woke up. So this means even with knowing the best time system and your body clock, it comes with a lot of self-awareness, which we do have as Gen Zs, which maybe is different from the other generations, and we need to change it. It's like another case in point. In the court before COVID-19, you had to go to court to just physically to just say, Your Honor, I have come to mention this on behalf.
Pleadings, manually.
Yes, just to mention. My it has been mentioned, and then you go back.
Can actually
but COVID had to make even the baby boomers, who are mostly the judges, the old wazels, it had to make them appreciate if it is not a matter that is very substantive, for instance, submissions and judgments, people can just go and listen to those things online, and we remove a lot of backlog of cases. Just imagine COVID. COVID
and files no longer disappear because everything has to be filed online. You know, I worked in the justice system for 11 years at Sharia House. And I loved the way the judicial system adapted quickly to online services, e-filing, e-courts, everything is e. And even the clients that used to fear like, now what? But they're also impressed because you don't have to go to court. You can actually log into court from your house, and it saves a lot.
A lot of
cost. And the thing that I loved about it most is once you file on e-filing, documents no longer disappear. I don't know where file disappeared. They came. Those things ziliisha kabisa. Yeah. And maybe I should just tell you that in my MBA dissertation, I am actually, one of my topics is flexible working hours. I really want to push it.
Interesting. Call me. Do you have surveys? I will write it.
Yes. So in what ways are Gen Zs changing leadership styles in organizations? Because most of organizations, I don't know what leadership styles are being adapted, but kuna kwanga ni ile I can't remember the name.
Dictatorial.
Yeah. It's my way, the boss's way, or the highway. So you have to incline to what, like, you don't have a voice, but I don't know how are Gen Zs changing these leadership styles.
Remember when I said we appreciate diversity? For us, it's a matter of who can do this. We value kind of flat information systems, not like hierarchy, horizontal. I think that's what it's called.
Same line.
Yes, whatever that is, where information can quickly be disseminated just within you without a lot of processes. We value that a lot.
Yeah.
And it works for us. That's why co-working spaces work easily, because if I need something, I don't have to go to another office in a different, I can be, hi tech, can you help us with this? I saw what Safaricom has adopted in its work, and that's why it's one of the leading brands in Kenya, is instead of having tech sitting together as tech, legal sitting together as legal, entertainment as, they have in every department, there's a legal person, there's a tech person, there is someone who deals with media and advertisement. So if they are coming up with the next marketing strategy, the legal is saying, is this image you're using okay or not? Yes or no. And they are just there. They can say, you can continue with this. Tech is like, which softwares are you using? Oh, it's just there. So what does that do? It reduces the time lag, the space of information, and all heads are on deck. So what we have done is more of devolution. Instead of having these ones who do this, and even the leadership system, we love systems that kind of devolved. We work best on open door policies. You can come, and if I am available, I can come to my office. I see it again where I work. If you see your boss is around and you had like a pressing question, you just stop them and tell them, I was working on this case and I realized this and this information is not aligning. They will stop and give you the explanation to there and then. But the conventional way, book an appointment, wait for them to read it, they might not even see that email, and then there's that backlog. So essentially it's how we have changed our mind. It's the mindset that is going to help us now to change the leadership structure, and we can only bring it out through now how we do our work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in essence, Gen Zs appreciate hybrid working.
Yes.
Work structures as compared to, and they're becoming very popular. The hybrid.
Yes.
Yeah. So your tech service, that one, no dispute, you are the reigning champions. So communication is also another key issue when it comes to Gen Z.
Yeah.
So how do Gen Z employees handle workplace communication compared to older generations?
Sorry?
Communication. How do Gen Zs handle communication? Communication structures, like how do they handle it as compared to, like you've told me you could stop a boss in the corridors and ask. So how do you handle more of that as compared to the older generation?
Again, for us, we are a bit straightforward. Even in our emails, we'd rather go straight to the point. This is what I need. A, B, C, and D. Not
courtesy.
Yes, we try. We try to say hello and find out whether you're fine. But we don't necessarily love long emails. I can do something short and tell you, this is what I want. So straight to the point. When we call you, it'll be hello, hi, how are you? So I wanted this, and this. Cool. Hang up and continue. But for a millennial or the other generations, they start making the story, they start asking about children, and then to build the rapport, like now then later is when they'll be like, oh, by the way, I needed some money for this and this. Me, within the first few sentences, I'll tell you, by the way, I am in need of some money, do this and this. It translates again to the work. When we see something is wrong, we will tell you, instead of backbiting you and gossiping and be like, msichana anakuanga. I'll come and tell you, by the way, I didn't love the way you spoke to me. Spendangi mini baby girl, usiniambie. Like I'll tell you, I don't appreciate that. And sometimes we really do try to communicate. And when you are shut out is when you'll be like, you know what, quits. It was good working with you, but it was nice. But yeah.
But there's this coded language that you normally use that I really also struggle to understand.
Ayo nayo.
For example, I always see GPOV. some just coded language that, and you know,
Yes.
you are doing that in official communication. So I'm like,
In,
I have to keep on calling. So what is this? What is this? What is this?
why should you call and we have ChatGPT to tell you what's POV? Point of view. I mean, so like we also, if you want to learn, we will baptize you by fire. This thing of now you need to explain step by step. If you see POV, even you need to be curious. So what also we are raising in you is be curious. Try and understand our language, at least so that when you come, it's like Kitambo and those guys from ghetto. If you wanted to, if you want them to understand, you speak to them in Sheng. They will understand Sheng better. And if you want to understand Gen Z, there's that, instead of saying point of view or for your information, FYP or FY whatever, I don't have to keep doing a lot of redundant work. That time that I'm writing the full sentence, I would be using it doing some other things.
Aren't you exaggerating?
I'm not exaggerating. What I'm just saying, we have a language that works for us. We embrace, somehow we simplify our lives for ourselves. So unless you're curious enough, for you, you'd be thinking it's over exaggerated and all that. But that's how language evolves and grows. Yeah, that's why even by the time Swahili is what Swahili was, there was a lot of growth into the language. So yeah.
Okay, technology. You are tech savvies. You are the undisputed champions when it comes to technology. We won't argue about that. So what role does technology play in shaping Gen Z's work habits?
To be honest, right, I don't know what kind of a lawyer would have been without technology. Technology makes our lives easy. Even with the use of AI, you can get to know so much in between. Now, the only challenge I have is, and I realize this is, yes, the concentration span is less. And for some technical courses like law, engineering, and being a doctor, medicine, you need a lot of reading. But the sort of content that now we are used to is short span, kind of TikTok reels and things like that. By the time someone speaks for more than 3 minutes and they're not saying what, that's why I think it's a strategy in marketing. You start with the punchline so that someone can be like, let me now go and see the whole thing. Technology has made our lives easy, but also it has made our lives a bit hard in a way that even retention of information is a bit less. Sometimes you learn by writing. Right now you don't have to write. You can have type it to your different docs. If you want to translate that to discipline, let's say the memory muscle goes down. So because you have not built that discipline, which bites you at some point. I know that by the fact that in my particular course, my law degree and the course itself is very hands-on, and there's a way things have always to be done, and somehow you have to know how things have to be done, because ours is very we call it, there's a lot of precedence. You rely on what was done before. But also AI, you feed the language, you teach AI some of these things.
Yes.
So sometimes we end up with the wrong information because you don't, there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation in the media platforms. You think this is a solid truth, yet that is an AI generated image, or you make a statement without the full understanding of whatever you're using, whether it can be backed up. That's why you find most young people have also been jailed out for defamation cases or libel or things like that. So technology, when used without wits, is a very big disservice. Yeah.
So there are some myths and misconceptions that people have been sending me about Gen Zs. So let's try and demystify them. So number one, Gen Zs are lazy and don't like to work.
Are we really lazy? And really, what we do is, you're not essentially lazy, but we are creative. And so we come up with easier and faster ways of doing the same work you can do for many hours. So it's just that we have adapted a system that works for us very efficiently. So
Okay.
it's efficiency over, we work smart, not working hard. Yes.
All right. Gen Zs have no loyalty and will keep job hopping.
We stay where we are wanted. We stay where we are valued. We stay where we are seen. So if we are not appreciated and it eats into our mental health, we will go and look for a place that will value us.
I hear you. Number 3, they only care about money.
Yes, money is good because everything, anytime you get out of your house, you will use money, whether you love it or not. We need the money.
But do you only care about money?
That's not the only thing we care about. We care about purpose, where our work can translate to something directly proportional to the work that we are putting in. The impact after the work. That's why I told you we are purpose driven. When I feel like my purpose is done, I will go and look for another job place that will give me another challenge. If I stay in a department and I feel like I've exhausted and I don't feel like I'm learning anymore, the best thing is you take me to a different department. I also learn about what that happens, because you always want to feel like we are continuously growing and learning. So if there's that gap, we will look for the better place.
They can't handle face-to-face communication.
Yes,
You hide in tech.
Yeah, we grew online. Like myself, I started university purely online, and the first time that now I met with my classmates in person, I used to struggle, like, hey, this person kumbe they are big downwards, and we're like, hey, they didn't look like that in camera. So we are trying, it's like us trying to adjust to the realities, but really we value authentic conversations that are we are beyond surface level conversation. Like we value such and one-on-ones more than crowd kind of things.
They are entitled. They are entitled and expect promotions too fast.
I wouldn't say it. We are entitled. We are just ambitious. We go for what we believe in. We push through, and we want, at least the reward is being given more demanding tasks, and that can be misinterpreted as being entitled. For us, once I know I have finished this, I want the next and the next, and that means I have to grow and grow rather than being just comfortable. So that ambition and boldness is what sometimes is misinterpreted as being entitled.
They don't respect authority.
We don't respect an authority.
Maandamano.
We don't respect authorities that are not transparent, that are not fair, and are not accountable. That's why the real reason why Maandamano for 2024 and 5 happened is because we were demanding for transparency. Where is this money the taxpayer paying going? If we can't see that and all our roads have potholes, please make it make sense. If it doesn't make sense, we will demand that accountability. Us demanding accountability doesn't mean we don't respect the authority. All we want is for you to tell us, you said you got loan to do this. Where is that money? Because it's so painful to see our country being robbed from us. We are going to inherit carcasses for our country. No, and yet we are the future of this country. So we have to speak up, and we are very passionate. Oh my God, if I start going there right now, we might turn this session. But please.
Did you participate in the demos?
Of course, I had to.
Really?
Because it's my civic right.
Mlikula tear gas.
Tutakula tear gas. But it's the truth, it hurts, but you have to accept. I know maybe it can take a lot of time, but even as you plant a seed, it doesn't become a tree on just one day, the first day you planted. It takes time to germinate, to grow, and to be the big tree that has fruits in it. You might think what we did was just another waste of time, but that
No, it
was
wasn't
a
a waste
seed.
of time.
That was a seed that we planted for this nation. And maybe generations after this will read us in the books of history and will be very proud as Gen Z.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
They are glued to social media and are easily distracted.
Yeah, easily distracted. Yeah, because yeah, I can say that for myself. Yeah, I struggle with the attention span. That can be true.
They multitask well and use tech as a productivity tool.
We take technology as a productivity tool because all these advancements are supposed to essentially help us to make life easier and much more, how do I put it? It's supposed to make your life easier. Man's work is to make work easy. That's why we have science. That's why we have technology. Man is always looking for. If we let's even look at it this way, the people who are in the old Stone Age period used to walk from here to South Sudan on foot. You imagine how many days and months they would take to do that. That's why man tried to come up with an aeroplane by just experiment. That was an invention or an innovation that made life very easy. So that's what tech is for us. That's what AI, and that's why. When by the way, we need to accept to even integrate AI in strategic ways and learn to teach it in our languages, because that's where the future is. And just, if you think it's waiting for you, unfortunately, I'm sorry, it will move and leave you there. Yeah. So we just use technology as tools to grow with us and to make our lives easy. Yes.
Okay. Then lastly, they asked me to ask you, why don't Gen Zs love traditional jobs?
The reason why we don't love traditional jobs first is the culture. Hey man, your culture is very draining. Is for lack of a better term, it's retrogressed. It's a wayward, or let me say backward for some reason, because people are stuck in practices that were done like 50 years ago, and they think that's a gospel truth. And especially the people who work in those systems. We do, to some extent, we really value the ability of having structure, because structures are really good. Please, don't misquote me. Structures are good because it means even when people leave, when others join, there will be some level of continuity. But also the structures should evolve and be flexible to the times and the seasons. They can be predictable, because also unpredictability is bad, but also they should really try to be flexible. So I think the reason why we fight with that concept of traditional work jobs is because we value flexibility. We have just a different exposure. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you think the workplace will look like in 10 years with Gen Zs in leadership positions?
In 10 years to come, in my lens, I see a time where we can work and collaborate. I'm assuming in 10 years to come, it's now me and other young people who will be in the positions of power. So we will create an enabling working space for the ones that are below us, where we will understand the importance of technology, and we will understand the importance of growing and embracing each other, because we will have fought and won this stereotype that's put on us that we are lazy, and have shown that we as a generation have gone through the seasons. Imagine we survived a whole COVID-19. What can't we survive? So we will have been molded and be in spaces that will enable even those that are below us. I see in 10 years from now, workspaces that are accommodating, that are not toxic, those that embrace remote working, flexible hours, and even value innovation and creativity, and actually build on talents rather than suppress them.
Yeah.
So I think, and better leaders, honestly. But also I think also we will get there if we are handed over the baton through reversed mentorship. Okay. There's so much the older generation knows that we don't know. So my urge is to you, the Gen Z, also, let us have a teachable mind to also learn. Some things come with experience. So we don't have to learn from our own mistakes. We can learn from their mistakes so that at least we get there a bit faster. Okay. So let's also become teachable. Let's have open discussions and let's embrace each other.
Okay.
And I think 10 years iko sawa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your parting shot on the Gen Z conversation?
Gen Zs are here to change the narrative in our workspaces, in our families, in our social gatherings, and even in the personal spaces. We are very authentic. Mental health is not something we shy away from. We won't die and keep quiet. When we speak, don't judge us. Hold our hands. We are learning. You are once a young man or woman. Please be what you would have wanted an older person to be when you are a Gen Z then. Don't judge us. We are here not to compete with you. We are here to complement you and to grow together.
Yes.
We love you and we appreciate you. And as Gen Z, power.
Power. So I'm going to read for my parting shot. I'm going to read what one of the people that work under me, what the thoughts that they gave me about Gen Zs. They told me, Gen Z isn't here to disrupt for the sake of it. They are here to redefine what work should look like. They are challenging us to create workplaces that are more inclusive, flexible, and purpose-driven. If we stop seeing them through the lens of means and start seeing them as partners in progress, the future of work will be brighter for everyone. So yes. I'm not going to add anything on that, and I really appreciate the person that sent me these. So that is all that we had for today. Follow the Gen Z conversation on my social media handles: Facebook, Rasiko World, Instagram, Rasiko World, TikTok, Rasiko World, YouTube, Rasiko World. And until next time, see you.
This is Workplace Conversations with Rosalind and Dika.